Serb enemies like to point out how Serbs helped Turks take Constantinople in 1453. Is this true? Short answer would be yes. Long answer would be it's rather complicated. Serb enemies use this fact as proof that Serbs and Turks were best friends. Let's analyze what happened in 1453. Turks arrived from Asia and started taking parts of Byzantine Empire. This process was very long, it lasted several centuries. Byzantine Empire was eventually reduced to Constantinople, the capital. Turks had to take Constantinople to cement their empire. Byzantine Empire had no real allies. European countries either didn't care about Byzantine Empire or they liked Turks better. What is the role of Serbia in all of this? Serbia used to be part of Byzantine Empire. We received our Orthodox Christian faith from Byzantines. All Serbian medieval art is based on Byzantine art. Today, Serbs still build churches in Byzantine style. Serbs in general have positive opinion of Byzantine Empire. One Serb enemy called us Byzantines, thinking he was insulting us. But the joke was on him. I wouldn't be offended if someone called me Byzantine. But I do think Greeks are true heirs of Byzantine Empire. The relations between Serbia and Byzantine Empire were changeable. Sometimes they were enemies and sometimes they were allies. Several Serbian kings married Byzantine princesses. This was a huge deal for Serbs. Later Serbian rulers used Byzantine titles like despot and sevastokrator. Now we come to Stefan Lazarević. He inherited Serbian throne after the death of his father Lazar in 1389. Kosovo battle was either Serbian defeat or draw. Either way, Stefan had no power to continue fighting against Turks. It is believed that Stefan was only 12 years old in 1389. His mother Milica ruled as regent. She arranged peace with Turks. Serbia became vassal state of Ottoman Empire. This means that Serbs were free to decide about their internal affairs. Otherwise, they had to follow Turkish decisions in external affairs. Serbs also had to send troops when Turks went to war with anyone. Throughout his reign, Stefan remained loyal to Turks. Stefan's sister was sent to Sultan's harem. This was done to ensure her brother's obedience. Marko Mrnjavčević was the jure king of Serbia. In reality, he controlled a small portion of Serbian land. King Marko is better known as Prince Marko from epic poems. Marko died fighting for Turks in 1396. Serb enemies claim that Serbs lie and hide historical facts. But they never bothered to read Serbian history textbooks. Every school child in Serbia knows that Marko died as Turkish vassal. They are also told that Stefan remained loyal to Ottoman Empire out of necessity. Stefan died in 1425. He was childless and his heir was his nephew Đurađ Branković. In 1453, when Turks were preparing to attack Constantinople, Đurađ was still Serbian despot. The title despot translates as prince and has no negative meaning. Today, despot is synonym for tyrant and dictator. In medieval times, despot was just a title. The land was called Serbian Despotate or Moravian Serbia. Morava is the name of several rivers in Europe. Serbian river Morava is one of the symbols of Serbhood. Morava is often mentioned in songs and books. Some far-right Serbs believe that only Serbs from Morava Valley are true Serbs. Let's get back to the main topic. Despot Đurađ had to send Serb soldiers when Sultan asked. First important fact, Sultan Mehmed II had between 100,000 and 130,000 soldiers. Serbian Despotate sent only 1,500 soldiers. This means that Serbian participation wasn't crucial for Ottoman victory. Turks would have won even without Serbian help. Defenders of Constantinople had only 7,000 to 10,000 men. They got help from volunteers from Genoa, Venetia, Papal States, Catalan retinue, and Ottoman defectors. Many Italians had ties to Constantinople due to shipping and commerce. They had material reasons to try to defend Constantinople. Second important fact, Sultan had 45,000 to 50,000 janissaries. Members of janissaries were taken as children from their Christian families. This is called devshirme or blood tax. Some far-right Serbs make it sound as if only Serb children were taken. This isn't true. Children were taken from all Christian nations under Ottoman rule. They were forced to convert to Islam. They would become soldiers, office clerks, or eunuchs. This means that among janissaries there were ethnic Serbs. We don't know how many. The siege began on 6 April 1453 and lasted for 53 days. Constantinople fell on 29 May. Turks had significant losses. Some claim that Turks lost 50,000 men, but it is impossible to tell. It is reasonable to think that some Serbs died during the siege. Again, we cannot tell. Constantinople changed its name to Istanbul. Istanbul remains to be Turkish capital. The last Byzantine emperor, Constantine XI, died during the siege. Some modern historians see the fall of Constantinople as the real end of medieval period. Because Byzantine Empire was the last remnants of Roman Empire. In fact, Byzantine Empire was called Eastern Roman Empire. The siege was also a turning point in military history. Turks used gunpowder and cannons which made defense walls useless. Only one more thing remains to be explained. Were Serbs and Turks best friends? Absolutely not. After the fall of Constantinople, Turks continued expanding their territory. They took Serb capital Smederevo in 1459. This marks the end of Serbian medieval state. Serbs were sold on Turkish slave markets until 19th century. Serbs rebelled several times and paid huge price. In late 17th century, Serbs sided with Habsburg Empire during the war with Ottomans. Habsburgs lost, and many Serbs had to escape to Habsburg Empire to save their lives. This is known as Great Serb Exodus. Turks would lease tax collecting. Tax collectors could take as much money as they wanted and only part gave to the state. Due to unreasonable high taxes, huge majority of Serbs lived in poverty. Serbs had no money to open schools or hospitals. Our first modern ruler, Prince Miloš, was illiterate. It's no wonder that Serbs have extremely negative opinion of Ottoman Empire. The only nice thing I can say about Ottoman Empire is that they didn't exterminate us. Serbs led several wars against Ottoman Empire to regain our independence. We finally did it in 1878. In 1912, Balkan League was formed against Ottoman Empire. Serbia was one of the League members. This led to First Balkan War. How do Serbs feel about Turks today? Serbs and Turks had decent relations in the last several decades. Serbs often spend holidays in Turkey. Since 2010s, Turkish TV series became very popular in Serbia. They replaced Latin American telenovelas. Far-right Serbs have a problem with Poturica. Poturica is someone who became Turk, converted to Islam. Poturica is synonym for traitor and has very negative meaning. Contrary to the popular belief among our enemies, Serbs rarely mixed with ethnic Turks. Most Ottoman soldiers who served in the Balkans weren't ethnic Turks. At the peak of Ottoman Empire, ethnic Turks were a minority in the empire. Ottoman Empire included huge parts of Middle East, North Africa and the Balkans. There was no blood purity in Ottoman Empire. Serb enemies claim that Serbs are in fact Orthodox Christian Turks. At the same time, they believe their own nations preserved blood purity. But they lived under the same conditions like Serbs. How did they manage to preserve blood purity? And why is this blood purity so important? I could also say that their ethnic groups participated in the fall of Constantinople as part of Janissaries. The Vshirmer blood tax was abolished in 1648. I could also say that after one Serb rebellion, Turks burned remains of Saint Sava. Saint Sava established Serbian Orthodox Church. He is often seen as patron saint of Serbs. His remains were the most sacred relics Serbs had. Why would Turks burn Saint Sava's remains if we were such great friends?